go to Twitter because hashtag Ask Manifest is trending. This is where Manifest fans ask him anything, and well, whether you get the answer you want is another story. See what I did there? Another story? Well, yeah, whatever, it's okay. Joining me via phone is the man himself, Manifest, and we're going to ask him a few questions. Good morning.
Good morning. I really like that intro. The another story spin was very clever.
Thank you very much. All right, hashtag Manifest. This is not the first time it's trending. Tell us, what's the reason behind this?
Well, I think one of the most powerful things about my career is that I've been able to have a direct conversation and contact with my audience. And so Twitter is also one of the more powerful mediums for me. So occasionally, a lot of people sometimes are like, oh, Manifest, but I was tweeting at you and you never responded. So sometimes on occasion I'm like, okay, let's just make it an open playing field and allow everybody to ask questions. I can't get all of them, at least by that time I know that I am paying attention to my mentions. No rhyme intended.
Yeah. All right, now tell me, what makes a good collaboration?
What makes a good?
Collaboration. What makes? Is it the artist? Is it what makes a good collaboration? Is it because Afrobeat mixes with maybe R&B? But what makes a good collaboration?
I think a good collaboration happens when the artists who have their own magic put it together and it sounds better or more interesting than what each of them would do individually. If it might sound familiar, but then it excites more because it's almost like the sum of all parts. That's what makes it good. It could be different things. It could be vocal textures. Sometimes certain people's voices work very well together. Either they complement each other because of how different they are. Maybe I might come in with the bass and you might come in with the soprano. It could be even style differences. Sometimes it could be content difference. Imagine, for instance, you have somebody who often speaks about Calais. We did street, and then somebody who is always talking about people, and you put them together, and they find a nice middle ground to still communicate to an audience. It could make for an interesting collaboration. So there's no formula, but it has to be interesting and exciting more than what they do individually.
All right. Now, there have been some talks on various social media platforms, also in the mainstream media, about inspiration and copying and blatantly copying from your so-called icon. What are your thoughts on this?
Blatantly copying.
Okay, so what happens is that with Burna Boy, he's released a lot of songs, and we know that his icon and his inspiration is Fela Kuti. There was a video trending on social media where it seems like Burna Boy was directly taking songs from Fela Kuti and just adding just a small mix. Now,
actually, that is not true.
Okay.
Because I've heard those songs and I know those snippets. He actually references or he takes certain things from the Fela songs and it almost seems like a reference. It makes it very familiar and interesting. And whether it's Angelique Kidjo, but nothing is new under the sun. This is something that is done with music. It has been done with music before we even came onto this earth. It is, I think there's a difference between paying homage and plagiarizing. And sometimes it's very clear. I saw that video you're talking about, the snippet of it, and it was clearly malicious.
Yeah.
And if you listen to any of those songs instead of just these snippets, you realize that there's a paying homage that is quite different. And I think with artists, because the music we also grow up listening to, or even when we listen to currently inspires us, sometimes it's nice to pay homage, and it creates interesting connect. Where it is when somebody tries to literally lift somebody's work and pretend like they've never heard that thing before. And I don't think that's the case. So interpolations are normal, and they've been there. I mean, I can even tell you for sure that, do you remember the song Tonga?
The song?
Tonga by...
Yeah.
I can tell you that after Tonga was released, I know at least 100 songs that literally took the same kind of beat structure. You know, and what would we say about that? Did it set a trend or were they copying it?
Okay, now before I let you go, can gospel musicians, or do you think gospel musicians should collaborate with secular artists? And what are your thoughts about that?
What is a secular artist? Because these terms are things people put onto other people. Just somebody singing gospel and somebody thinking about other things. What is secular? The gift is all divine.
Mm.
So on that note, Jometo, let's do the collab soon.
John Mental, I hope you're listening. Okay, before I let you go, the last question. How do you think social media has impacted our generation's view of beauty?
Beauty.
Yeah.
I think it's two sides to the coin with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think beauty has always been influenced by media, period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's advertising, billboards, etc. With social media, it can either emphasize a good or a bad.
Yeah.
And people become more self-conscious, and it's very instant how other people feel about you.
Yeah.
So, but on the other hand, it also has been used by people to kind of try and change the trends of beauty, you know, the black girl magic or this and other things.
Mm.
So I guess we wait to see whether it is more treasure than trash, or whether it's more poison, or whether it's upliftment. But it's how we use it. I don't think social media in itself has changed how people think of beauty per se, but it just makes it so immediate.
Yeah.
Right? And I think there's actually more of a chance for people to respond to that or change the narrative. Because if you were walking through Accra, Kumasi or wherever, and you see all these billboards that have only light-skinned people on it, and it's informing you that that's the idea of beauty, there's no response. What are you going to do? You're going to shout to the billboard. You know?
Yeah.
You can't. But social media actually gives it the opportunity for there to even, for other voices to try and even amplify, like, nah, this is not the move. This cannot be the only standard of beauty or this kind of stuff. So, I mean, I can't pass a simple judgment left or right, but I think it definitely is quite immediate, and it can be used for good or for distraction.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for that manifest.